the Doctor of Digital.
And welcome to Love Letters. Love Letters are a collection of love stories of people get lost, get crazy, and disoriented in the name of love. Of course, another week, another great episode on Love Letter. Right, Mr. Mick?
You bet, always ready. Good stuff.
Mm, Definitely. Want to unzip what OnlyFans billions reveal about male sexuality? What is that, Mr. Mick?
Well, this is the economics of manufactured intimacy and attention as currency. So, to introduce the market value of male desire as revealed by OnlyFans, the first thing that came to mind is, I'm reminded of the infamous Rolling Stones album cover that was controversial and yet engaging for the time. The Sticky Fingers zipper cover was speculated to be Mick Jagger's jeans and, of course, his crotch. While the album sold an incredible amount of records, the iconic album cover featured a zipper of a man's pants, thus inviting the viewer to unzip a man's jeans. Like on Route 66, you could get your kicks by the Rolling Stones. The Sticky Fingers LP, released in 1971 by the Rolling Stones, is one of the band's most iconic and successful albums. According to various sources, including the Recording Industry Association of America and the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, the Sticky Fingers LP has sold an estimated 20 to 25 million copies worldwide. In the United States alone, the album has been certified 3 times platinum by the RIAA, which means it has sold at least 3 million copies. In the UK, the album has been certified 2 times platinum by the British Phonographic Industry, which means it has sold at least 600,000 copies. Sticky Fingers is widely considered to be one of the greatest rock albums of all time, and its success can be attributed to the innovative blend of rock, blues, and country music, as well as its iconic cover art featuring a zipper on the front of the album. The album features some of the Rolling Stones' most beloved songs, including Brown Sugar, Wild Horses, and Can't You Hear Me Knockin'. In conclusion, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones zipper entice female and androgynous exploration of desire.
Certainly. So, Mr. Mick, what is a male desire?
Throughout history, male desire has been a complex and multifaceted force shaped by societal norms, cultural values, and personal experiences. From the ancient Greeks' idealization of the male form to the Victorian era's repression of sexuality, male desire has been influenced by the cultural and social context in which it has existed. In many societies, male desire has been tied to notions of power, dominance, and control, with men often being socialized to prioritize their own desires over those of others. However, this has also led to a suppression of emotions and intimacy, as men have been encouraged to maintain a stoic exterior and avoid vulnerability. In recent times, there has been a growing recognition of the importance of emotional intimacy and vulnerability in male relationships, as well as a greater acceptance of non traditional forms of masculinity. As a result, male desire is evolving to become more nuanced and multifaceted, encompassing a range of emotions, needs, and desires that are more authentic and fulfilling. That is generally at least the social spin on male desire. I wonder, though, if male desire, if unchecked by guidelines, can it get out of control? In other words, is too much male desire what society, and women for that matter, really need? In conclusion, let's consider the unleashed male desire as expressed on OnlyFans.
Certainly. So, Mr. Mick, what do we know about male desire on OnlyFans?
Along these lines of desire, Malvika wrote an article Substack, which I found intriguing. In the wake of OnlyFans' staggering recent financial revelations, 6.6 billion in user spending, a predictable storm of male outrage has erupted across social media. I'd like to consider the cultural implications about relationships from a male perspective in light of the incredible amount of money generated by OnlyFans. For the uninitiated, a note of explanation about OnlyFans is in order. OnlyFans is a subscription based online platform that allows content creators to sell exclusive content such as photos, videos, and live streams to their fans and followers. The platform was launched in 2016 by Tim Stokely, a British entrepreneur, with the goal of providing a safe and secure way for adult content creators to monetize their work. OnlyFans quickly grew popularity among adult performers, models, and influencers who used the platform to share their content with their fans and earn steady income. On OnlyFans, content creators can set up their own profiles and upload their content, which is then available for fans to purchase and access. Fans can subscribe to their favorite creators' profiles for a monthly fee, which can range from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars, depending on the creator's popularity and type of content they offer. In return, fans receive exclusive access to the creator's content, which may include behind the scenes footage, exclusive photo shoots, or even personalized messages. OnlyFans takes a 20% commission on all earnings, and creators can earn up to 80% of the revenue generated from their content. The platform has become a major player in the adult entertainment industry with millions of users and a reported annual revenue of over 1 billion. Interestingly enough, though, the median OnlyFans creator earns a paltry $180 monthly, but far more concerning is the exploitation of male desire and the psychological trauma experienced by both men and women on the platform. In conclusion, how should men and women relate to each other in the brave new world of OnlyFans digital desire?
OnlyFans. So, what are the power dynamics of desire, Mr. Mick?
One gut level reaction about OnlyFans' financial windfall might be the shameless wealth and moral decay of the site, but more importantly lies a far more complex psychological and economic revolution that's reshaping the fundamental power dynamics. We have to come to grips with the incredible amount of user spending on the site, and a few comparisons would make the profit more understandable. The platform's 6.6 billion in user spending outstrips the global box office earnings of every movie released in the year that Barbie was released. In addition, the 5.3 billion paid to creators is far more than the combined salaries of the NBA, NHL, and MLB professional sports franchises. In terms of other entertainment platforms, artificial intimacy is generating more revenue than Spotify. OnlyFans creators are out earning Netflix stars, and the growth rate is outpacing both Instagram and TikTok's early years. It behooves us to examine this massive shift in how the digital economy values intimate attention. While traditional entertainment sells passivity, OnlyFans has perfected the monetization of being seen. Yes, it is the market for digital desire, but it is something more. It's proved that personalized intimacy, even its most manufactured form, is now more valuable than almost any other entertainment we produce. To dismiss these numbers as just another digital gold rush would be to fundamentally misunderstand their implications. OnlyFans has become a lens through which to examine every major fault line in contemporary society. Outperforming decades old entertainment empires and traditional sports leagues, it's telling us something profound about masculinity in crisis, about the commodification and connection, about the evolution of power dynamics in digital spaces. In conclusion, OnlyFans reveals that contemporary masculinity is in crisis.
Certainly. So, what is unprecedented about OnlyFans?
OnlyFans has achieved something unprecedented. It has created a precise market value for manufactured intimacy, turning previously intangible forms of male attention and desire into measurable, monetizable metrics. For centuries, men have expressed male desire, but with this site, we now know how to measure male attention, and perhaps more importantly, this is a profit making venture. I agree with those critics who view OnlyFans with alarm since it is unprecedented and perhaps a reflection of how declining mores and standards have lowered the bar on relationships. But I will go with the flow and observe it as just another indication that ladies should be ladies and men should be gentlemen. On the other hand, I don't really sympathize with feminists who talk about empowerment versus exploitation, in that feminists exploit the body as well. We actually discussed this point in a previous episode. More persuasive is the idea of cultural critic Magdalene Taylor, who astutely observes what many guys resent is not merely their own empty sex lives, but specifically that women are able to capitalize on their sexuality in ways they can't. Men should grasp this intuitively anyway. Men are at a limitation in that unless a guy is rich, famous, or brilliant, he has to work at having game. On the other hand, pretty privilege rules in that women have an advantage because they are pursued and desired as a matter of course. The average looking female will be pursued, whereas the average guy, more or less average individual, has to really work at being appealing. A man's sexuality, once positioned as an unstoppable force that women needed to accommodate, resist, or channel, has been quantified by the market and found virtually worthless. Yes, some men have Chippendales, but compared to the traditional outlets for the tawdry so called gentlemen's clubs or the sopranos bada bings, far outnumber venues that ladies seek for titillation. Chippendales, a male review show that originated in the 1970s, was a pioneering concept in the male entertainment industry. While the Chippendales phenomenon has largely faded, the industry has evolved to include various types of male entertainment. And a comparison of the Chippendales' heyday with the current state of the industry demonstrates that really there's no comparison between female and male presentations. For the male, there are thousands of strip clubs, gentlemen's clubs, and female review shows worldwide, and the revenue is estimated to be in the billions of dollars annually. Historically, there have been burlesque and cabaret shows, often featuring a mix of music, dance, and comedy for men to be entertained. Today, the online platforms have experienced the rise of social media and online platforms has enabled female performers to reach a global audience, creating new opportunities for entertainers. In conclusion, there's really no comparison between the number of outlets for men to be seen as desirable or titillating as opposed to the many venues that women can titillate men.
Very well said, Mr. Meg. Very well said. So, what is titillation and its impact on men?
This refers to the act of stimulating or arousing someone's desires or passions, often in a subtle or suggestive manner. Throughout history, titillation has been a powerful tool used by artists, writers, and performers to captivate audiences and evoke strong emotions. In the context of male desire, titillation has often been used to tantalize and tease, creating a sense of anticipation and longing. From the sensual language of ancient Greek poetry to the provocative imagery of modern day advertising, titillation has been a key element in shaping male desire and influencing male behavior. In many cases, titillation has been used to reinforce traditional gender roles and societal norms, with men being socialized to respond to certain types of stimuli or imagery. However, in recent days, there's been a growing recognition of the importance of consent and agency in sexual encounters, as well as a greater acceptance of non traditional forms of masculinity. Today, OnlyFans suggests a broader malaise, the fragile, hollow, and lonely state of the modern man. Men disconnected from purpose or meaning, paying for the illusion of connection to hold their deeper feelings of insignificance at bay. OnlyFans, like other aspects of platform capitalism, exposes this fracture but isn't the root cause. Instead, it profits from and amplifies vulnerabilities, perpetuating cycles of isolation. In conclusion, OnlyFans is indicative of how men are isolated from women as they often suffer from malaise.
So, Mr. Meg, what is malaise and who describe the phenomenon?
Malaise is a complex and multifaceted emotional state characterized by a sense of general discomfort, unease, and disorientation. It's often accompanied by feelings of listlessness, apathy, and a lack of motivation, as if one is stuck in a state of emotional limbo. Malaise can be triggered by a wide range of factors, including stress, anxiety, depression, and existential crises, and can manifest physically as fatigue, insomnia, or digestive problems. At its core, malaise is a sense of disconnection from oneself, others, and the world. leaving one feeling lost, uncertain, and disconnected from their usual sense of purpose and meaning. It's a feeling of being stuck in a rut, unable to shake off the sense of malaise and return to a sense of normalcy and well being. Men often have difficulty finding, approaching, and winning over women since they are often broken themselves. One individual who emphasized this, of course, was the existential thought of Jean Paul Sartre, a prominent French philosopher, playwright, and novelist who explored themes of malaise extensively in his work. He articulated the struggles of human existence, the search for meaning, and the anxiety that comes with freedom and choice. And talking about the concept of malaise as presented by Sartre, examining roots, implications, and how it affects modern thought. Sartre emphasized the importance of living authentically to combat malaise. Authenticity involves recognizing one's freedom and taking responsibility for one's choices. The search for meaning is central to overcoming malaise. Sartre argues that individuals must create their own meaning in a world that is often devoid of inherent purpose. Malaise is not solely an individual experience, it's also shaped by societal and cultural factors. And in modern society, many individuals experience alienation due to factors such as technology, consumerism, and the fast pace of life. When we feel trapped in these circumstances, malaise encourages listlessness and an inability for men to chase the opposite sex. One needs to be engaged in the world, and that's essential for overcoming malaise. Sartre believed that through action, whether in pursuing creative passions, building relationships, or advocating for social change, individuals can find meaning in their lives. This active engagement allows individuals to connect with their purpose and alleviate feelings of existential comfort. In conclusion, to improve themselves first and living authentically, men can surpass their social conformity of social media.
So, Mr. Mick, what is the OnlyFans economy?
There are implications about the social conformity of social media as it relates to the OnlyFans economy. American author, theorist, educator, and social critic Bell Hooks addresses this existential crisis. As Bell Hooks presciently noted, male anger often masks a deeper existential crisis of relevance, and nowhere is this more evident than in the OnlyFans economy. Here, men face a paralyzing contradiction. Their collective desire generates billions in revenue, yet their individual sexuality has been rendered powerless, transformed from a tool of social control into mere consumer behavior that can be harvested, analyzed, and monetized. Perhaps nowhere else is Sartre's Christ malaise more applicable than as exemplified by the Only Forms platform. What a man has been reduced to is click through rates and conversion percentages, which are the metrics used to measure the effectiveness of online campaigns. And this is what we can see with OnlyFans. In conclusion, although male sex desire historically has been commodified, now it has been reduced to click through rates and conversion percentages.
So, Mr. Mick, what is the commodification of sexuality in history?
This is a complex and enduring aspect of human civilization. Commodification refers to the process of transforming something that is not typically considered a commodity, such as a person, relationship, or idea, into a marketable good or service that can be bought and sold. The roots of sexual commodification can be traced back to some of its earliest civilizations. In ancient Mesopotamia, temple prostitution was a religious practice. Women, often dedicated to a deity, engaged in sexual acts as a form of worship. In ancient Greece, the concept evolved further. Courtesans, known as heterae, were educated women who provided companionship and sexual pleasure to wealthy men. The Roman Empire further entrenched these dynamics. Sexuality was a powerful tool for social and political campaign. The Edo period in Japan marked a significant chapter in the history of sexual communication. The licensed pleasure courtiers became famous for their elaborate system of courtesans and geishas. Today, the commodification of sexuality manifests in various forms from pornography to the sex industry. Media and advertising play a crucial role in shaping these perceptions of sexuality. As society continues to grapple with the implications of sexual commodifications, it's crucial to navigate the fine line between agency and exploitation. In conclusion, the brothel keeper, the pimp, the porn producer, each position himself as an essential intermediary while creating the very conditions of exploitation he claimed to protect against.
So, Mr. Mick, what is the different about the protection racket today?
The protection racket persisted for millennia because it was fundamentally about controlling access. Male gatekeepers maintained power not just through direct control of women's bodies, but also through the channel of which female sexuality could be monetized. They manufactured artificial scarcity, created systems of economic dependency, and positioned themselves as solutions to problems they had already themselves created. OnlyFans has exposed this entire infrastructure as unnecessary. You don't need a pimp's protection when you have two-factor authentication. You don't need a producer's distribution network when you have direct-to-consumer platforms. You don't need a brothel security when you have digital boundaries and screenshot detection. All you need is a smartphone and an internet connection. In his groundbreaking work, Sexual Economics, Sex as Female Resource, Roy Baumeister argued that historically, female sexuality has been treated as a valuable resource, while male sexuality was often viewed as abundant and therefore less value. But what's fascinating is how OnlyFans has both validated and complicated this theory. Where traditional sexual economics dealt with finite resources, time, physical intimacy, exclusivity, OnlyFans has discovered that manufactured hope is the ultimate renewable resource. What a twist on love, hope, and charity, or Christian ideals. Think of Baumeister's market theory here, how technology has created an entirely new sexual marketplace, one where the traditional rules of supply and demand have been turned inside out. In the digital realm, we're losing sight of the physical reality, strong relationships, and belittling both men and women at the same time. In contrast, there's a biblical verse that speaks to the value of finding a good woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her value is far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. That's Proverbs 31:10 through 12. Sartre saw this existential crisis, but long before the digital age. Natural order now, or God's plan, is digitally subverted. All human beings possess intrinsic values, but platform capitalism can reshape and monetize gender dynamic of attention, desire, and power. And this article by Malika shows this and demonstrates this. Like other tech platforms, OnlyFans has mastered the art of making users feel uniquely special while treating them completely interchangeable. In conclusion, OnlyFans has intensified the age old battle of relationships, leading to men to suffer from malaise and exploiting women to their detriment.
So, how about what would be a Christian critic of a sexual economics, a sex as female resource?
One Christian critique of sexual economics, sex as a female resource, Roy Baumeister, is from Dr. Mark Regnerus, a Christian sociologist professor at the University of Texas at Austin. In his review of the book, Long Before OnlyFans, here is what Baumeister's critique has to do with what Regnerus said. It's a provocative and well researched book that challenges many assumptions about human sexuality. While I appreciate the author's efforts to provide a comprehensive and nuanced understanding of human sexuality, I must express some reservations about the book's theological implications. While Bymester's book provides a valuable critique of the cultural and societal pressures that shape our understanding of human sexuality, it does not address the theological and moral dimensions of human sexuality. As Christians, we believe human sexuality is a gift from God and that it is essential to our understanding of human identity and purpose. We must therefore approach the topic of human sexuality with a deep sense of reverence and respect, a commitment to promoting healthy, respectful, and life giving attitudes toward human sexuality. While sexual economics is often thought provoking and well researched, it's essential to approach it with a critical eye and to consider theological implications. In conclusion, as Christians, we must be careful to promote a theology of human sexuality that's grounded in Scripture and that values the inherent worth and dignity of all human beings.
Certainly. So, Mr. Mick, how can we conclude this discussion?
Malaise, as explored by Sartre, is a complex interplay of freedom, responsibility, and the search for meaning. It reflects the struggles of the human condition, particularly in a world that often feels chaotic and absurd. With the commodification of sexuality is a historical constant that reflects deeper societal values and structures. Today, men have never been more empty or more useless, less motivated to search and find real physical women and not suffer from malaise. The Bible doesn't have a specific term for malaise, but it does describe various emotions and experiences that can be related to feelings of disorientation, disconnection, and spiritual emptiness. In Psalm 42:9, the psalmist laments, "Why, my soul, are you so downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Savior and my God." This passage expresses the sense of emotional turmoil and disconnection from God. In the New Testament, Jesus' teachings and parables often address the human experience of feeling lost, disconnected, and uncertain. For example, in Luke 15:11 through 32, Jesus tells the parable of the prodigal son who leaves his father's house and squanders his inheritance only to return home and find forgiveness and restoration. This parable can be seen as a metaphor of the human experience of feeling lost and disconnected and the need for forgiveness and redemption. Similarly, in John 16:33, Jesus says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." This passage acknowledges the difficulties and challenges of life, but offers hope and reassurance that God is present and victorious. Finally, these biblical passages and teachings can be seen as an offering a message of hope and redemption to those who are experiencing feelings of malaise and disconnection.
Well, Mr. Mink, another great topic for today, and thank you so much. Would you like to plug in something?
Sure, if you wouldn't mind, the Doctor of Digital podcast. And of course, the Idea to Author Coach on Facebook, where I talk to authors who are writing books, would like to write more, and like to sell more books. I also have a couple of volumes out on Amazon, that is Burning America, and also on Track Ian Hunter. So if you want to have a conversation, meet me on Facebook, the Idea to Author Coach, and listen to the Doctor of Digital podcast. Till next time, Deus Volt.
Yes, people, and I want to plug in also our baby podcast, Mental Health 101, and its first season with Mr. Mick, the Doctor of Digital. Please do listen because we are empowering people out there having mental illnesses or to have a mental awareness. So, the rise of OnlyFans have revolutionized the adult content industry, revealing profound insight into male sexuality and the evolving dynamics of digital intimacy. So, Mr. Mick, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel, my friend.
Mordicon people, see you soon. Here